Welcome to Comic Power. I am your host, Comic Killer 72. This segment today is called Wicked Wednesday. If you didn't know, Wednesday is the new release for new comics that come out every week. These are my recommendations for the best books to pick up on Wednesday. I will also name one book to be the speculation pick of the week. For my longtime viewers, I need your help on promoting this channel. Once I hit 500 subscribers, I'll start doing giveaways as a reward. And we're talking key issue comics that will make you happy like Homer with a box of donuts. First up, DC is giving us Batman #9. Tom King is getting it done as the new writer on Batman. They're trying out new artists on a rotation right now with mixed results, some good, some bad. This Tim Sale variant with Bane looks fantastic though. I hope they bring him back for some future storylines. Next up is Cyborg #3. You gotta give it up for that cover. It is awesome. I think DC has the opportunity to do with Cyborg, which Marvel has done with Black Panther, by taking a lead black character with a cult following and increasing his appeal by making him appear in movies, because he will become one of the Justice League members in the upcoming movie. Now take a look at this Dark Side variant here with him on it. That is incredible. I don't have any words for how good this is. Speaking of the Justice League, next up is Trinity #2. This is a title that focuses on DC's most prominent characters, Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman. If there's a Mount Rushmore of comic book hero icons, all three of them would be on it, plus Marvel's Spider-Man. Next up is Harley Quinn #6, and they're going for storyline where she sports a mohawk and a punk rock look. This Bill S variant looks fantastic. I would love to see more of this look on this character. Harley is like Deadpool in the sense that you can do anything with this character. It really doesn't matter. It all works. Next up is Doom Patrol #1, which is going to a second printing. It looks like DC has a surprise hit on its hands. The Doom Patrol made their debut way back in 1963, and some comic historians say that the X-Men is a ripoff of them. The Doom Patrol made their debut in June of 1963, a group of teen superheroes led by an older man in a wheelchair, and are hated by society, which sounds exactly like the X-Men, which was started on September of 1963. The only real difference is the X-Men are mutants that are born with their powers, and the Doom Patrol are not. Historically, Marvel has ripped off DC on so many things. Let's see what they're up to this week. First up is Amazing Spider-Man #20, and Dr. Octopus is back. I really dig it when Spider-Man fights these classic foes. This is a tie-in to the Clone Conspiracy crossover. Next up is Black Panther #7. This isn't just a comic, it's a political thriller, as King T'Challa must fight homegrown enemies within his kingdom. As you can see, they're giving us a lot of variants. I like this one right here with Luke Cage, Storm, and Misty Knight sharing the cover with King T'Challa. Next up is Black Widow #7. Shown here is the Champions variant, which looks outstanding. Her solo title of Espionage is a damn good read. You should find Black Widow #1 from March of 2016, probably in the dollar bin where it does not belong. Why Marvel refuses to give this character a movie, I don't know. Next up is Death of X #2 of a 4-part miniseries. It appears that mutants and Inhumans cannot coexist, so a war is breaking out between these two civilizations. But let's look at the politics behind all of this. The war is really between Fox and Marvel because Marvel doesn't own the X-Men and Fox does the movie rights, so they want to promote the Inhumans on Marvel's side and try to make them a big deal. So far it has not been successful. Marvel has postponed the Inhumans movie that was planned. I'm watching to see how this unfolds. Next up is Infamous Iron Man #1. It appears they're going to do a mashup where Dr. Doom is Iron Man. Marvel has been very tight-lipped about the script on this, so we really don't know until it drops. But what we do know is there are going to be plenty of variants for this because this is what Marvel does. This action figure variant looks fantastic, as well as this hip-hop variant, which is an homage to Big Daddy Kane's 1988 debut album. These hip-hop variants were a great idea. Next up is X-Men '92 #8. This series has the look and feel of the early 90s animated series that was so popular. So if you love early 90s X-Men, this is for you. And check out this hot Rogue cover. She's always been a fan favorite in that sexy green outfit. And for some reason, the movies, they won't or can't give us a comic accurate Rogue. Anna Paquin's version was so lame. I mean, it was a major fail. She didn't want to use her powers. She was wimpy. That's not the Rogue we know. Once again, Fox owns the rights to the X-Men. Marvel has nothing to do with how this character is portrayed in the movies. Any decent depiction and cosplay of this character would have been better than what we had in the movie. But I digress. Just go ahead and pick up X-Men '92 for nostalgia purposes. Next up is our report on independent comics and small publishers. First up is Sunflower number 6 from 451 Media. This is the final issue of this 6-part miniseries. 451 Media is linked to director Michael Bay of Transformers fame. So speculators are thinking that this may be reference material for future movies. Whether movies happen or not, we don't know, but these books have been high quality and worth your time. Next up is Joyride number 6 from Boom Studios. This series is a teen space adventure, and it's a lot of fun. Issue number 1 was a big hit and has gone to a 3rd printing. You might want to pick up a trade paperback to catch up with what's going on. Up next, and also from Boom Studios, is Hero Bear and the Kid Fall Special number 1. This title has won an Eisner for the all ages category. This would be perfect for your kid who you're introducing to comics at a young age, or you can read it yourself as a guilty pleasure. Sometimes comics get too dark, and this is a relief from that. However, if you love your darkness, then there's Lady Death Extinction Express number 1 from Coffin Comics. These type of cult comics sell year round, but they sell even better during Halloween time like right now. Next up is Cave Woman Trouble for 2 number 1 from Emerald Entertainment. As you can see, this title gives you plenty of gratuitous TNA and gore. These type of campy and trashy titles are actually a throwback to the 1950s when you had pinup ladies like this, as well as horror titles like Tales from the Crypt. They're just basically mashing those two genres up together. It's cheesy, but it's entertaining. Next up is the speculation pick of the week. And that's going to be Die Kitty Die number 1 from Chapter House Comics. Here's some background on this. This is the baby of Fernando Ruiz and Dan Parent, who used to draw Archie, and they went through Kickstarter to fund this project. I'm not making this up. They used Kickstarter to fund the comic series. And the plot behind this is actually pretty clever. It's actually meta. It's a comic book about a comic book. It's about a witch named Kitty Ravencraft, who has her own comic book. But the publisher is greedy and wants to increase interest in the comic by killing off the character, but he also wants to kill her in real life too. So this series is poking fun at comic book business cliches and gimmicks that publishers use to try to sell books. You know, gimmicks like variants, like this 1 in 25 variant, which is selling for about $50 on eBay pre-sale. I like fresh ideas in comics, and this delivers, so I would pick this up if I was you. Next up is Harrow County number 17 from Dark Horse Comics. Seriously, Cullen Bunn is one of the best writers in the genre of horror. If you like horror and suspense and you're not reading this, then you're missing out on something. Next up is Kiss number 1 from Dynamite Comics. And yes, this is a comic adaptation of the 1970s, early 80s rock band. And these guys, especially Gene Simmons, will license anything Kiss to make money. I think only the most hardcore Kiss fans will pick this up. I don't see it crossing over. The band is just not that popular and as well known as they used to be. They have some very impressive looking variant covers like this one, but I still would pass. Next up, and also from Dynamite Entertainment, is Pathfinder Worldscape number 1. And yes, that is fan favorite Red Sonja in the front. I did a video called Top 5 Female Comic Book Characters with the most inappropriate costumes, and Red Sonja won because of material like this. Go back and watch that video. It was posted on June 20th, 2016. Next up, let's see what Image is up to. They have an excellent track record, and that's going to be Horizon number 4. A woman must protect her homeland from some desperate aliens, and those aliens are Earthlings, so we are actually the bad guys in this comic. Damn Earthlings, always invading other people's planets. Can't take y'all nowhere. Up next is Hadrian's Wall number 1, which is going to a 2nd print. It's the story of a detective that must go into outer space to investigate the death of an astronaut. It's an 8-issue miniseries, and issue 2 just dropped as well this week. The premise is solid and the artwork is masterful, so worth a pickup. And that brings us to Snot Girl. I'm kind of torn about this one. I get it, it's supposed to be a spoof on our social media and pop culture. And the writer is Brian Lee O'Malley, who's famous for creating Scott Pilgrim. I guess I just never got past the name of the title, but somebody's liking it because it's going to a 3rd printing, but I'll pass. Now let's see what Valiant is up to. They are red hot after the announcement of a Ninjak web series, and that's live action, baby. Which brings us to Ninjak number 20. This is a continuation of the Fist and Steel storyline. If you've never read Ninjak and you start here, you're going to be crazy confused, so you might want to pick up Ninjak number 1 from March of 2015, or just get a trade paperback so you can catch up. And don't forget to watch my Ninjak special report, which I posted on October 2nd. Next up is Faith number 4, where she gets into it with an imposter at a Comic-Con in California. Once again, we have a comic that's spoofing the comic industry. She's the only heavy-set female comic book character with her own title. I'm curious to see who they're going to cast to play her in a future Harbinger movie. Harbinger is pretty dark and serious, so she will be the comic relief to ground things. And last but not least is 4001 AD, which is going to a trade paperback. It's selling for about 15 bucks and it's definitely worth your time. It's within the Valiant universe, but you can read it as a self-contained story. You don't have to know any other backstory to make this work. Think of it as Star Wars meets Total Recall. It's that good. That's about it for today. Thank you for watching Wicked Wednesday, where I review all the new comic books for a new comic day. Be sure to follow my blog at comicpower.net. On social media, follow me at facebook.com/comicpower.net and comicpower-universe.tumblr.com. And don't forget twitter.com/comicpowersub. I also sell comics on eBay at this link. This is Comic Killer 72 for Comic Power saying bye-bye. And don't forget to share this video, click on subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and tell everyone you know about this channel to help it grow. Thank you for your support.